Well, I was trying to kind of tie things back into yesterday's show. Had a little funny incident yesterday. Mariners were playing a day game, which they eked out in kind of ugly fashion. But
extras,
hey,
yeah.
you got to get ugly wins sometimes, and sometimes you need an error by a third baseman on a bunt with extras and an automatic runner on, and it all works out. But what was really weird was I was sitting in the studio and lamenting the fact that I couldn't watch the Mariners game or get it queued up. And then I was like, I'll just log into my Fubo account.
Sure.
I can do that. So I log in, but it keeps pausing on me. And then that carried over into what was, let's be honest, one of the great primetime broadcasts. They have a short show, which was spent with Isaac really doing play-by-play, delayed play-by-play because it kept pausing on him as well. But it was a very delayed play-by-play. So if you heard either my broadcast or the primetime broadcast, you will know that the stream for the Mariners game kept pausing. So the whole way home, I'm kind of listening to that and keeping an eye on the score and trying to figure out what's going on. And by the time I got home, I figured out what the problem was.
And it was?
My wife was working from home.
Okay.
And decided that she should probably watch a Christmas movie that she had recorded on Fubo.
Oh, jamming up the server, huh?
It was some Christmas Hallmark movie that she recorded last year that was interrupting live day baseball for your Seattle Mariners. So that was the problem for the very clunky broadcast that was going on. So
that happens. Christmas movie gets in the way of some Mariners day baseball.
She goes, "What's going on with the Fubo?" I go, well, I was watching the baseball game. She goes, "You should be watching while you're driving." No, I wasn't. I was in the studio and I'm watching because I do a sports radio show, so I need to watch live sports. She's like, "Well, I was trying to figure out what was going to happen with this movie. I've tried 3 times to finish watching it." So the button would prompt up on either side going, "Oh, do you want to continue watching?" Or there's another user going. And she was the one that kept going,
Continue.
So, anyways, that's what happened. But we dive in. The big story was we finally got some preseason football
not just the Hall of Fame
in volume yesterday. So we had 3 games yesterday. Things started off with the Ravens and the Colts, and I don't know how engaged you were to that game. But the one thing that we learned is Anthony Richardson still can't seem to get out of the way of people trying to kill him.
And now his pinky bends the other direction.
Boy, did you see the photo of that?
Ooh! And that was the only game that I was paying any attention to. Suk and I bet on it.
Oh, did you really?
The Ravens have this insane record in the preseason over the last 6 years. I think they've lost 2 games.
Yeah.
So you just blindly bet them. They care about winning those games, so just go for it. And they were catching 6.5 points last night. So Suk took the points. I took the points and the money line, and away we go.
And the Ravens win 24-16, so they get the win. There was another injury in there. I just saw the photo of it and I didn't need to read anymore. I was like, somebody from the from the crowd got the photo. And
it was like a leg thing.
Knee injury.
It was not good.
You don't want to see anything of that. But the quarterback controversy should resume here shortly. It was a dislocated pinky for Richardson, and he will be back. Should be back by Saturday, back at practice. So it's not a huge deal, even though definitely pointed the wrong direction. The Bengals and Eagles played next, well, really simultaneously. But the Bengals also taking the preseason very seriously. And guess what? If you play Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase against a second-string defense, they're still really good.
Yeah.
Is Zach Taylor going to abandon this strategy at any point during the preseason? The idea of getting these guys ready for the regular season, they looked pretty stinking sharp.
Yeah. I mean, they opened the year it was a really disappointing season for them last year.
Yeah.
I think they lost 4 games in which they scored 37 or more points.
But yeah, that is not being sharp for the regular season.
No, it isn't. But they barely missed the playoffs, I think, by a game. Yep. They came out and lost to a very bad Patriots team week 1, and they looked slow and terrible. And so I think this is his overreaction to we can't let that happen again this season. But, boy, you go out and get one of those guys hurt, and your job's not going to be yours for very much longer.
Yeah, well, I think Suk was the one that said it yesterday, that you can get hurt in practice, you can get hurt crossing the street, you can do anything, you play a dangerous game, you can get hurt. The other thing on full display with or without Jalen Hurts in there, the tush push still works. So you've got that. The most intrigue that I had in any of the games that I was keeping an eye on from the Clark County Fair while the kids were running around between rides, of course, was the Seahawks and Raiders game, the return of Pete Carroll to Lumen Field. A little disappointed with the Raiders' performance, but if you're a Seahawks fan, I think there's a lot to like there. You were not running either of your top two running backs. Sam Darnold did not play. But Drew Lock went out there behind a offensive line that looked a lot better. George Halani was running all over the place. Yep. You got to see them actually move bodies. And the nice thing was this was actually a Raiders defense that included Max Crosby and a lot of starters out there. So actually seeing going...
A good test as far as preseason tests go.
Yeah, using the air quotes for test, I think, is 100% accurate there. You didn't see a ton of Nick Eamon-Worry, who you were excited to see on the other side of the ball for the Seahawks, but... one of his few tackles that he had on the 11 plays that he did run was against a guy named Ashton Genty, who was out there for a few carries. And when you can go and meet that guy at the line of scrimmage for no yards, it'll be very interesting to see how much this forecasts into the future, at least in my mind.
Yeah.
Because the Seahawks, I think if you go, all right, here are the guys that weren't playing, things looked really good. And then if you're the Raiders with all the guys that were playing, it looked real bad.
Yeah.
So I think this could be a forecast of what you're going to see, but Pete Carroll's going to probably be yelling a little bit or certainly trying to get these guys motivated. And if you're the Seahawks, don't get complacent. Don't think that this, hey, we've achieved our goal by doing this.
Sure.
And then, of course, the best part of the whole thing is the announcement at the end going, all right, that was blocked. This is preseason. Yeah, just call it a tie. Call it a tie. Well, listen, you can tie in regular season games. There was a lot of upheaval about this, like, oh, it's ridiculous for a preseason game just to stop because it's a tie. Well, listen, if we get to a certain point in the regular season, you can have ties there too. So I thought the
obviously a tie, a tie.
That is Hugh Jackson.
Thank you, Hugh Jackson. I appreciate that. All right, let's move to In Case You Missed It. A few quick stories. Let's start. In case you missed it, the Boston Celtics have announced that they are signed an extension for multiple years with Joe Mazzulla. No terms were released, but we know that Mazzulla celebrated the news the only way that he knows how. He put Brad Stevens in a rear naked choke. So there you go.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say that he fired up The Town because apparently he watches that Ben Affleck flick 3 to 4 times a week.
We could have went that way too, but he also loves grappling sports, so I went with just a term.
Did he advocate for fighting in the NBA?
Yes. Well, I think
he
kind of fights his players in practice before things go off. So just a term rear naked choke, anytime I can say that on a broadcast is fantastic. Speaking of extension, Malik Beasley was nearing a $42 million extension with the Pistons, but that is now on hold because Beasley is under federal investigation for gambling. In the meantime, he's been evicted from his high-rise apartment in Detroit. He allegedly owes money to his agent, a bridge loan company for athletes, a dentist, and a celebrity barber. According to sources, Beasley just watched the ESPN 30 for 30 documentary Broke and said, cute story, hold my beer. Quite the ovation there.
I got to get used to these keys. That was a little more of a hearty chuckle than I expected.
Yeah, they need to get labeled a little better because Rust also does not know those, but I think that was a hearty chuckle one. I'll take it. But former linebacker Terrell Suggs was arrested in March for brandishing a weapon at a Starbucks. That is not new news, but TMZ has obtained and released the video. So if you want to go and watch him arguing with an Arizona Starbucks, listen, I am not advocating for violence. I'm not advocating brandishing a weapon, but Starbucks really does need to get the names right on the cup. Am I right? No?
Boy, and now that seems like I went overboard again. It was fine. I kind of knew it was coming, but yeah.
Yeah, well, you put Tyrone on Terrell Suggs' cup. I mean, he's going to get mad. No? Would it have been better if I went that way? I have another one holstered, ready to go. Gronk is joining Fox Sunday full time. He's replacing Jimmy Johnson, who retired. This is a brilliant move by Fox, but they've been trying everything over the years to make Terry Bradshaw look smarter. Not only do you look smarter when you're sitting next to a dumb guy, you feel smarter Isn't that right, Buck? No? Oh, don't you feel smarter with?
Oh, see, I thought you were flipping it.
No, I was trying. Initially, I was going to slam on you.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
but see, you didn't get it, so maybe you were right. You are the dumb guy. I was trying to be self-deprecating there. Boy, right over. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the Daily Buzz. We do it next. It's Happy Hour on 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network.
host, Luke Anderson.
All right, your Mariners complete the sweep of the White Sox yesterday. Dom Canzone with the walk-off game winner. Seeing guys like Dom Canzone and Cole Young stepping up in big moments, especially when you lose Naylor to some shoulder soreness midway through the game yesterday, is always a good sign for your team. It sounds like Naylor had the same shoulder soreness in June, so nobody's too worried about it. He's listed as day-to-day. Shouldn't be a big deal, but the exciting news about the Mariners, if you like overhyping a team as much as I do, because that never goes poorly when you get on the radio and say how somebody's odds have improved. Mm-hmm. But according to Fangraphs, the Mariners now have a higher chance of making the playoffs than the division-leading Houston Astros. Ooh. So after yesterday's game, they jumped off the odds of the Mariners making the playoffs to 86%.
Pretty good.
That is a couple points higher than the Houston Astros, who sit at 84%. Even though they're winning the division, Texas is at 34%. Now, the Astros still have the highest percentage of winning the division at 48% and the Mariners at 45%. But if you look at future schedules, the Mariners actually have a pretty easy slate going in, where the Houston Astros have a little bit of a tougher haul, but they do run into each other at least one more time as the season goes on. Exciting? Absolutely it is.
Yeah, I mean, and did you also realize that they acquired like the greatest base stealer in the history of the Mariners?
Oh, we talked about this on on Thursday. We talked about this yesterday. So not only has he gotten 10 stolen bases in his first 12 games, not counting yesterday, he is 100% on stolen bases. And did you see the cleats that he's wearing?
I didn't. What I did see is that in his entire career as a Mariner, Ichiro Suzuki never had 10 stolen bases in an 11-game span, and Josh Naylor already has. So better base stealer than
Josh Naylor is the bottom third of foot speed, but his jump is absolutely ridiculous.
He's crafty, man.
Oh man, he is quick.
Cal Raleigh's got a baker's dozen too. You realize that?
Yeah, well, Cal Raleigh is, I believe, the fourth catcher ever to have 30 home runs and 10 stolen bases.
Yeah, that sounds right.
In a season, but he did that before the All-Star break. Yep. He got number 10 before the All-Star break. So yeah, the Mariners being more aggressive on the base path is something that Dan Wilson wanted to do, and it's working. You get there for a day, and it's like, hey, that's your first game, Naylor. You didn't steal a base. Let's get on it. And now he's got more than he had. He had 11 stolen bases in 93 games with the Arizona Diamondbacks this year. He has 10 already with the Mariners. He never had more than 10 his entire time in Cleveland.
But that's not about speed. That's about opportunity and looking for that opportunity.
Well, it is. And the Mariners have been moving around the bases. You've seen double steals and people just jumping around. Yeah, they are a ton of fun to watch. Speaking of a ton of fun to watch, did you happen to catch what terrible performance Paul Skeens threw out there yesterday?
I did. Really rough stuff for him.
First time in his entire career, after 46 starts, he has finally thrown an outing where he gave up 7 hits. So that breaks the record that was previously set. He'd already broken the record previously set by Shohei Ohtani, who went and how 6 hits or more is the stat that we're looking at. Shohei Ohtani went 31 games without giving up 7 hits.
Yeah.
Paul Skeens did it yesterday. Of course, the 7 hits equated to exactly 0 runs for the Reds yesterday.
Scattered them.
So it ended up not being a big deal. So why that was the metric that we have. But here's what I want to give you through the first part of Paul Skeens' career. So he is one of only 17 pitchers ever to have 300 strikeouts in his first 43 games. That's when he reached that mark.
Okay.
He does not, he did start last year on a pitch count, so he's not somebody that is going complete games. So I would say that is substantial. His strikeout rate is currently ranks 3rd in the majors. He has the lowest opponent batting average among qualified pitchers. He is 7th highest in ground ball rate. He has the lowest barrel rate allowed in the majors. His win probability is among the highest in pitchers at a debut. How about this for a stat? He is one of the best pitchers in the game at preventing stolen bases. He was already obviously Rookie of the Year. He's got the accolades for the 46 games without allowing 7 or more hits. And he absolutely dominates the Reds, who he beat yesterday. So he is pitching a 4-0 career against the Reds so far, a division opponent. His ERA against the Reds, .39, which is pretty good.
It's a rival you do not want to see.
And 33 Ks in 7 starts against the Reds. So there you have it.
Yeah, and I feel like even his ERA that just hovers around 2 is like still unfairly misleading. He's made 47 MLB starts and he's given up 60 earned runs.
Yeah, and
basically gives up 1 run or maybe a little more each time he goes out.
But yeah, his ERA is 1.95, and yeah, he does not allow runs. But here's the problem: is I believe he's 4-7 this year.
He's on a team that does, I think 6-8 now, but yeah, he's on a team that does not score runs.
He is dangerously reminiscent of one Felix Hernandez, but he is very early in his career. And please, I've already had to do this like 3 times on this show because the Bengals keep doing stupid things. I don't want to root for the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't want to root for the Pittsburgh Pirates, but they have so many things going for them. Very much like the Bengals. Good uniforms. They have been good in the past. They've been fun to root for in the past. But the organizations themselves and the way they operate the organizations make me want to not root for them. But everything else that they have going, if you look at the history of Boomer Esiason and all of the great players that have gone through the Bengals organization, the uniforms over the years, the colors, the cities themselves being in the Rust Belt, I very much want to root for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Sure. So I just beg of ownership not to continue to do Pirates things. Can we please do that so that we can have
we have to start by caring, and that's a big bridge to spend.
That is the first thing. Oh man, I loved the Pirates with Barry Bonds and when Bobby they were young and Bobby Bonilla, and just go back and look through the history. It is a great organization over the years, but in most of my adult life, they have not been good. So please go ahead and stop being terrible, if you please could. That's all I ask of you. College football getting potentially the red zone. I don't know if you've talked about this with the guys on Primetime yet.
We talked a little bit about the merger and the ESPN getting the NFL red zone. We've not talked about the college red zone.
So Roger Goodell has come out and said that the college football red zone is an exciting possibility, and ESPN chairman Jimmy Pietro has expressed strong interest in exploring the ideas. But here's what I want you guys to do. Is just calm down a little bit. There's been a lot of chatter about it in social media, is all the buzz. So I started to look and go, all right, how much more difficult could this possibly be? So first thing that you have to think about with college football is fragmentation. As much as you would like to think that it is as simple as just getting all 32 teams who are led by a commissioner who all kind of have to agree to a single media rights package, there are individual media rights packages for the Big Ten, the Big 12, the SEC, the ACC, what's left of the Pac-12. You have Fox, NBC, CBS. Independents like Notre Dame have their own contract. So trying to get rights to duck into all of those games is a lot.
And ESPN already tried to do a version of this. They called it ESPN Goal Line. I think they ran it on their ESPN News channel.
Yep.
And it was essentially just the red zone concept, but without really anybody hosting it. And they just kind of had it paneled and they're jumping from game to game. But to your point, they could only do the games that they had ESPN rights to. So you would be like, oh, I'll do the goal line for this window from 10 to 2, and then realize you're not getting the game on CBS. You're not getting the game on NBC. So, like, how is this actually going to work in practice?
Yes. So cooperation between all of the leagues plus college football, that seems like a long, long way to go. Here's the other thing is the NFL red zone is jumping between 7 to 10 early games, 4 to 6 late games. College football would have dozens of simultaneous games, making it just a lot harder to figure out which team to go into. And if you're jumping on there because you want to try to watch all the college football games at the same time, inevitably you're going to end up getting the wrong games, the ones you don't want to see about. And how do you tier it and go, all right, let's look at the games with higher rankings,
let's
even
check
though
it
they
on
have
James Madison, and you're like, well, why? But this is a crucial third down in the Indiana game. It's
Yeah. Well, and I've already kind of teased it too, but just a lack of centralization. There is no one in charge of college football right now.
Right.
There are entities all over it, and there you go. You already mentioned goal line was a failure, so having the past attempts and trying to get that figure out, and then the expectation versus reality does not seem like this is something that's going to happen. So, yes, they've mentioned it. Yes, Roger Goodell likes the idea, but of course everybody likes the idea of it. In theory, good. In practice, next to impossible. We'll go to one more quick story here. I think we have time. Rashawn Slater, it was announced that he had a knee injury yesterday. Turns out that's going to be a season-ending patellar tendon injury. So the 26-year-old was carted off at practice yesterday, hauled off to the locker room. He just signed a 4-year, $114 million extension in the offseason, including $92 million guaranteed. That is the richest O-line deal in the NFL on
and maybe
average
the most
per year.
important tool at Justin Herbert's disposal because he's the guy protecting him.
Well, just not only that. I mean, it's a team that doesn't have a ton of weapons.
Yep.
You've got Jim Harbaugh, who wants to run the ball, wants to own the offensive and defensive line. So he has started 51 games since being drafted in the first round, but missed most of 2022 with a torn bicep. So this is 2 years that you're missing one of the best left tackles in football. So not great for the Chargers, Bob. But we move on. We'll walk over to the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. And, Buck, you can tell me what we did not get to there.
Well, this SportsCenter update is brought to you by Big's Chicken. Try their smoked and fried wings tossed with the perfect dry rub and served with a killer trio of sauces. Menus at bigschicken.com.
That sounds like a great idea.
Isn't that a great idea? I
Yeah.
agree.
Have you've had their wings?
Oh, yeah. That California gold sauce or whatever that thing is.
Oh, the Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're the yellowish one. It's
Yeah,
delightful.
it is fancy.
Let's see. We hit on Missoula. We talked a little bit of Mariners preseason football. Shedeur Sanders show tonight.
Yes.
And I guess this is good for him, but then there are also people saying that this is the best way for them to say they gave him a shot and jettison his ass later. So
my brother sent me the screenshot from whatever the show that Stephen A. Smith is on. I don't know what it is. Is this a make or break moment for Shedeur Sanders? And if that is true, that they're setting him up to fail so that they can cut him, I guess it could be. It doesn't mean he's out of the NFL. Give me a break. This guy's going to get plenty of shots. He's got enough talent. Who knows how the start goes, but no, this is not the end-all, be-all for a kid that is, 22 years old and getting his first shot at the NFL.
Right. Although there was something that was interesting. There was a former Vikings practice squad or training camp quarterback. I think his name was Jake Sloter, and he said that he was cut for playing too well. They've said, you just been playing too well.
Here's the thing.
I don't totally understand.
Here's the thing about Shedeur Sanders is there are a lot of people talking about him. The more people that talk about you, the more likely there is for somebody to say something stupid. And the more likely somebody says something stupid, the more likely everybody else will grab onto it and use that as a headline. So I don't buy any of it until it actually happens. The prognosticating and the forecasting and the guessing on what's going to happen. You know what? I'm rooting for him. I hope he goes out and plays a great game.
I do too. More sports scores and stories in 60 minutes. I'm Ryan Buckley at the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now Window
All right, this is normally we would have a guest on, but Rob Schneider bailed on us last minute. He's at Helium tonight and sold out, so he's like, I don't need to come in and promote what I'm doing. So, you know what?
What do you think he's doing right now instead?
Probably sleeping.
Yeah.
Having a cocktail, doing whatever the hell he damn well pleases. Probably doing recording a little bit part for an Adam Sandler movie.
I was going to say on the phone with his buddy Adam.
Yeah. Who knows? Are they that close of friends? He got a pretty small part in that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We can create some beef. They weren't even in the scene together. All right, here's what we're going to do instead, Mr. Buckley. Pull up your scoreboard for the preseason weekend. We're going to go through if we can find a reason to watch any of these preseason football games.
Yes.
And we'll start today. The first game that you have is at 4 o'clock, Lions-Falcons. You know my reason for watching this because you and I got to discuss this last Friday. Isaac Tesla is the leading receiver for the Detroit Lions after 1 week of preseason. But yeah, the Lions not playing any starters, so it's just finding guys that can go into the rotation. The Falcons have a lot of holes to fill, including the quarterback position, who you'll have a first-time day one starter in Michael Penix Jr. So I guess I can get that. I don't know how much Penix is going to play, but I think trying to figure out how he's going to gel with the rest of that team is important.
If you get a series out of Penix, that's a reason enough to watch that series.
I would agree with that. Moving on, Browns-Panthers play at the same time. Panthers, I imagine, are playing everybody because they have not been good for years. I always think of how bad you finished the prior year is how many guys start for the next year.
Yeah, and they were kind of sneaky feisty last year, even though they were a bad team.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think they outperformed expectations. People thought they could be the worst team in the NFL, and they were not that.
No, they were not. Browns, we already talked about Shedeur Sanders. I think that's the whole enchilada there. Washington Commanders at Patriots playing tonight as well. You got basically 3 games going on at the same time. Can you give me any good reason to watch Commanders Patriots? The only thing that I could think of is Mike Vrabel goes out there and just starts fighting with players.
Yeah, I mean, apparently he got bloodied in a scrum earlier in the week.
Yeah,
so,
he's already done it. So
I mean, in general, I have excitement to see what the Patriots do in the second year of Drake May and the first year of Vrabel. But
I can give you plenty of reasons why they'll be exciting this season.
But right now, I don't know. I mean, you're not getting McLaurin. You're not getting. Debo. I mean, is Debo Samuel fat? Is he available? What's his deal?
Yeah, I could not tell you on that. Here's the thing that I have. If we're looking at these ahead to these two teams, I think you could very much see the sophomore slump for the Commanders and everything fall back to earth. And I really think that after 1 year of Gerard Mayo having somebody that took the Titans to a number 1 seed, I mean somebody that's too intimidating for the brass of the Tennessee Titans as your head coach, I could see the Patriots make a big jump this year.
Yeah.
So I think these are two teams that could finish with the same record, and one of them would be very disappointed, one of them would be very excited.
And I guess one thing I want to see is if Washington can run the ball. They're aging a little bit at that, or like they have Eckler there who's getting long in the tooth, but if they could have a more balanced offense, you could take some of that load off of Daniels. And I don't know that you're going to see it in one game here, but if they can make that part effective, I think they can maintain a lot of what they're doing.
One of your first matchups on Saturday, you're going to have the Giants and Bills, and for me, this is one of the most interesting quarterback rooms for a bad reason and one of the least interesting quarterback rooms for a very good reason.
Yes.
The Giants looking at Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and Jackson Dart.
Don't forget Tommy DeVito.
I will forget Tommy DeVito every single time, and I will do it on purpose. He will probably get some run because it's a preseason game, but I do not think that he is in the running to be the starting quarterback of the Giants. And if he is, you might want to just sell all your Giants t-shirts as quickly as you possibly can. I don't have any reason to watch that game because I don't think anybody's going to play enough that'll be substantial for the Giants.
How about
the Bills? I don't care.
Cam Skattebo do anything for you?
Skattebo is interesting when we get to the regular season. Yes,
I'll
give you that.
I think he was an awesome college running back.
I think that's what
this is one of those things though where I'm like, This could go poorly, and I think we'll know pretty quickly whether he belongs in the league or not.
Well, you had 3 carries for Ashton Jeanty last night. Did you learn anything from that?
Did not. Although some of my favorite commentary from last night was on that Jeanty performance. It said, "Not so easy when you're not rushing against the Colorado State defense at midnight on a Friday, is it?"
Well, listen, I am rooting for that dude, but I think he has jinxed himself as hard as you possibly can. Did you see the number that he is wearing?
2.
Jamarcus Russell's number 2.
I didn't even put that together. I knew that, I just knew that was his number in college. I'm like, of course he's 2, but I wasn't putting together the Jamarcus bit.
Yeah, well, so sense. I would like to start the movement of teams retiring numbers when you just have somebody that's so bad that nobody should wear that jersey again.
Sure.
Like going out this weekend, the Mariners are retiring number 51, and this same time next year they're going to retire the number 51 again
for Randy.
So Randy Johnson and Ichiro, both 51s for the Mariners, will retire those. So I'm okay with them both wearing that number, because it's great. But it's all you're going to do is remember Jamarcus Russell as soon as you see him in that, because it does.
Speaking of Russell, did you see how Geno Smith came out to the field last night? There's photos of going about of Geno Smith flipping off the Seattle crowd as he comes out of the tunnel and getting Max Crosby to do it with him. And the reports are there was a fan who is by the opponent's tunnel and notoriously trash talks and even has signs taunting the other teams. I
believe that.
And it said something like to the tune of "bigger bust, Geno Smith or Jamarcus Russell."
Woo!
And Geno saw it and flipped him the double birds on the way out.
You know what? That's probably a good move. And I will say that there was a lot of unfair vitriol for Geno. I went to 3 Seahawks games last year. And, man, as soon as it started to go a little bit of sideways, there was a lot of hate for Geno. Yeah. I am not surprised that he's flipping the double bird. If he flipped it to the entire stadium, I wouldn't be surprised.
Doesn't bother me.
We'll see what happens. I think that I wish that were a regular season game last night. All right, let's scan through, and you find a game that you find interesting. I'll try to find a game that I find interesting. The one that intrigues me the most, I don't know what the reasons are specifically about players or who's going to be out there, but the 2 teams that are matching up that I find the most interesting is that Sean Payton thinks that Bo Nix is the next John Elway, and he thinks the Broncos are going to win a Super Bowl this year, and there are people that seem to be echoing those sentiments. I know the Broncos have a very, very good defense, and they're playing against the 49ers, who finished last place in the AFC West last year. Both of those teams intrigue me an absolute ton. And so just seeing who the guys are that pop in those games, and like I said, I don't have a whole list of guys that I'm looking for, but if you can have your Isaac Tesla pop up and just go, who's that dude? I think that's going to be key to either of those teams getting where they want to be, because the injuries in San Francisco are going to make a huge difference, and just finding one dude that can pop and be a playmaker on either side of the ball for the Broncos, that's what pushes these teams over, man. It's getting a Braun last year, a Zach Braun for the Eagles, and he's a special teams player for his career, and then he's a Pro Bowler. That's what the difference between winning and losing in this league really comes down to.
Yeah, and Nix is another candidate for like a sophomore slump, I think. I mean, he maybe went through it a little bit his first year.
Dude, they are running so much hype at
and so that's
dude.
What I'm saying is, like,
I'm with you.
There are a lot of believers there, and I'm not saying there shouldn't be, but then another team where things are kind of up in the air at running back. They've got RJ Harvey coming in, who's supposed to be like the big thing. On the Niners side of things, you mentioned the injuries. They're just getting really old with that core, but they have 2 defensive linemen that are rookies that they really like. And if they can get real help there, they're already facing the softest or the worst schedule by previous year win percentage in the entire NFL. So it should set up nicely for them.
Brock Purdy getting paid and having a baby over the offseason. So, he's coming in as the man, and it's pretty much settled by the number of zeros on his paycheck. So you can go from there. The other 2 teams that I find interesting is the Sunday matchup between the Bears and Dolphins. And that is simply because I think the hottest seat in the NFL is Mike McDaniels and possibly Tua if he doesn't have a great year. I don't know if he's
even
your quarterback.
Tyreek's to a degree.
I mean, there's a lot going on in Miami. There's plenty of drama, and then I think the biggest hype train maybe besides the Broncos, and not not for Super Bowl hype, but for improvement hype is the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, second year of Caleb Williams.
First year for Ben Johnson.
Guru of Ben Johnson.
Well, yeah, I mean, how many times have you seen the big-brained offensive coordinator go in to be the guy, Matt Eberflus, and then take over Matt Nagy, and then they're supposed to be the guy because it worked so well where they were before. Yeah, Josh McDaniel twice, 3 times, and have it not work out. So I don't know if Ben Johnson's a good coach or not, but it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Our one more for the road today. We've figured out why the Yankees are terrible. So it's been discovered. I will share that with you. We will do it next. It is Happy Hour on 105.1 The Fan.
We're about to wrap things up.
Maybe you guys like what I have so far?
Wicked woman, cool creams and misters. You got a cool spell on me.
Let's grab one more for the road.
Come on, everybody. Everything's smooth.
Here's Luke Anderson.
All right, Mr. Buckley, what are the people saying out there?
Well, going back to our Paul Skeens conversation and how great he is, Joel says, yeah, so great he couldn't beat the Mariners. What a bum.
Well, again, the pitching performance not always the problem, but they also lit up DeGrom, who's probably one near the top of the Cy Young list as well. So Mariners are just an unstoppable machine.
Harley says sending Buck down to the minors for some extra reps before prime time. Love the idea.
Yeah, we did this last Friday too. We're going to probably make it a regular thing here coming up.
We have a Falcons are going to win the Super Bowl proclamation.
Okay. There. All right, let's go. Michael Penix, is that a Falcons and UW fan?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you could jump to that. Sure. And then additionally, we were giving you various reasons why we think you could justify watching some of this preseason football, storylines and whatnot.
Sure, yeah, we tried.
And the text line told us the reason to watch football is because football.
I don't disagree with that. That is well put. So I don't know if you've been following the drama around the New York Yankees.
Only their, trade deadline comings and goings and failings of their new bullpen and things like that. They've just generally been on the struggle bus. But beyond that, what am I missing?
Well, I mean, you're getting complaints not only from fans and media, but you're even getting former players. Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter are kind of chirping at not only Aaron Boone, but Cashman, Steinbrenner. They're all taking heat for the decline. The Yankees started the season 38-22 until June 1st, and since then they have been 23-32. So they their win probability for the AL East went from 88% on June 1st to now 14%. So they have been riddled with sloppy play, whether it's base running or relief pitching, or you take your pick of things that have happened. So there's, just these errors and mental lapses. Well, the community that is Yankees fans have got together and they've decided that they've figured out what the problem is with the Yankees. And, Buck, do you know what big rule change they made that is kind of showing their lack of discipline compared to what they always have?
I think so. Is this regarding facial hair?
It is.
Okay, so I remember, this has been an age-old topic, it feels like, where in the past people said, it's antiquated, it's whatever year this is, you can't tell your employees, blah, blah, blah. But I did see the other night when they gave it up, there was another, one of their pitchers, big old bushy beard, and they're like, see, we sacrificed our...
That's right.
Our what do you want to call it? Our ethos or our morals for this?
Yeah. So now you've got fans that are calling for them to put the rule back in place. Mm-hmm. So my question for you and I both sit here beard clad.
Yeah.
I've got Isaac and Suk coming in with beards. I was thinking about it. I think Swag and Sprague might be the only guys sans beard. I guess Patrick is just mustachioed, so he's within the Yankees regulations. Would the fan be better if we had to trim the beards?
Oh boy! You can get into the whole face for radio thing where it's like it really doesn't matter. But
but now we're on YouTube.
Yeah, so. Yeah, if the fan man now brand man decided that we needed to tighten things up around here, I think you might have a mutiny.
Well, a mutiny.
Because I think while it could get us all in line a little bit more, first you start trimming the beards, then you start staying on the clock. Look what happens. But I see some sort of a mutiny or revolt from the two gentlemen that will be sitting in those chairs in about 5 minutes.
Yeah. All right. So if the Yankees go full collapse, so the Yankees, end up missing the playoffs. They've got the Houston Astros this weekend, which is very intriguing for me as a Mariners fan to kind of watch this because I'm rooting for the Yankees. But you have a 14% chance of winning the division. You've got the Red Sox who are playing hot with beards, the Blue Jays playing hot with beards, the Mariners, the Astros, the Rangers have been good over the last month or so. If the Yankees end up falling outside of the playoffs, do you think the Yankees will reinstate their age-old policy of no beards?
I think they'll probably fire Aaron Boone first.
Okay.
And then they'll reevaluate the beard policy. They'll probably put together some special council of former players to come
I like
on.
this.
And, it's almost like when you have...
because the interesting thing is if you look at Jeter and A-Rod, and I know A-Rod's not a Yankee, but you go there's not a lot of guys that like leave and then immediately grow a beard like Letterman did when he left TV and all of that. So
yeah, that's pretty rare. I mean, Johnny Damon did. He was a Yankee and then he got all bushy when he went over to the Red Sox.
Well, sure, but he's bushy before he came and then he went back too.
Right.
So that's the other thing. But here's the other thing about baseball, and I know that you're a bit of a historian. Like, who's the greatest guy that you think of when you think of bearded baseball players? Like, is there somebody?
Probably didn't Wade Boggs wear a beard after the Yankees? Like when he was, the
I
Rays
think of him as mustachioed.
Okay.
Because he was mustachioed with the Red Sox, then went to the Yankees, right? Yeah. I'm just trying to think of if there's anybody out there. So I think this is something that you're going to see reinstated. You're going to have.
You think it will be reinstated?
Oh well, listen. If they miss the playoffs, I don't think there's any doubt of it. And we've got there you go, Bruce Sutter, Sutter. I don't know. I did that the other day. I know it's Sutter. Bruce Sutter, one of the first closers in baseball history, was bearded.
Great beard, Steve Bedrosian.
There you go. All right. Well, that's Isaac Ropp jumping in, writing names in.
Isaac.
I mean, if only we had another microphone, he could jump on and join the conversation. But he's saving his pipes for prime time, so he has to do that. You hear him coughing in the background. But yeah, so that's the new theory. The Yankees are terrible because they've given up on discipline. They've given up on their age-old ethos. And
I mean, there's other things you could dial back first, to be honest. Like Jazz Chisholm is running around in his shiny silver belt and purple cleats and stuff.
Have you noticed the not like the cleat policy?
Just the accessorization of baseball.
The accessories, the belts are crazy out there.
And
right
like
now.
the sliding mitts and all that. And like, listen, guys want to do their own thing, but like forever, Marcell Ozuna's been a Brave, and he's been wearing a neon highlighter like sleeve, and I'm like, where does that work with the Braves navy and red? And even so, if other teams can do that, sure, but I would think the Yankees of all teams would say, nope, we're navy, we're white, we're and just you're not wearing all these zany colors and things, but goes right into the
one of the funniest conversations I had is Big Boss Ryan Cooley. His son is playing on All-Stars, and he is 9, I want to say. So he's playing, the extra baseball and playing with the best kids that are, from
finish their league season
8 to 12, ready to go.
Yep.
Ryan made the comment. He goes, well, if you look at the kids out there, they are all decked out with all the gear. They've got the braces, they've got the thing. And he goes, the sliding mitts felt like it was a step too far. And he's just kind of shaking his head and he goes, then I realized they can't even slide head first.
They are not allowed to.
Yes,
and yet they still come adorned with one, if not 2 of these to the base paths.
They're wearing 2 oven mitts? Is that true?
Yeah,
Little
in
leaguers
some
doing
cases,
that?
yeah.
I don't think I've seen any pro players doing that.
The double?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen the double because it's really, you got your reach hand and you do that. But
I feel like I have seen a double something, but
I don't know.
Now I'm going to keep it closer.
I will say the fleet-footed Josh Naylor wearing his ruby red slippers is one of my favorite things that I've seen. They are full-on sparkle high-top Nikes, and it's absolutely great.
We're not in the desert anymore, Toto.
That was funny because he has like a snakeskin-looking belt.
Oh,
and
does
the
he?
first thing the Mariners broadcast goes, I think that's a Diamondbacks belt. So the color's close enough that he can wear the light turquoise with the dark Mariners green. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank Ryan Buckley for filling in. I want to thank all of you for listening. And of course, as always, have to thank Isaac Ropp. We are all done for now. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Paid for by government. Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 Gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny